Alright, today I am going to make an omelet, and the ingredients that I'm going to be using today are cilantro, finely shredded triple cheddar cheese, of course eggs, and let me see, tomatoes. Alright, so these are the ingredients I'm going to be using. So first I'm going to cut up some of the ingredients. First I'm going to cut up the cilantro. Let me get a knife. Alright, so I got a knife. This is probably uncalled for. Let me get a smaller, oh, this is a better knife right here for cutting. So I'm going to take the cilantro to make my omelet. I'm going to put it out right there. Comes in a web, so you got to kind of like really weed it through some of that. So I got my cilantro. Make the omelet. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm just going to rinse it first because you don't never know. Rinse it. Rinse that. Two. So I got rinsed cilantro. So I'm just going to cut it. Cut the cilantro. Smells good. Even though it's out of season, it still smells like it's in season. I'm just cutting a little bit smaller. So I got the cilantro going right here. So cut that. And then I'm going to take a couple of tomatoes. These right here, I love these. They're called Campari tomatoes. You can get these at either, you can get them at Trader Joe's, or you can get these at Target, right? So you got to take about a couple of tomatoes. Not too many. So I'm going to get some of these tomatoes right out here. And I'm going to take the tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut these up too. Oh, wow. See how that's splattered everywhere? It's because I got the wrong knife. So what I'm going to do right here, I am going to get a tomato knife. Look at this. Thoth tomato cutting knife, actually. I'm going to leave a link down there where you can get some of this knife from, but it cuts the tomato really good. So look down in the link, or look down in the description, and I'll show you a link to where you can see this knife at right here. It's a pretty cool knife. It's kind of sharp, actually really sharp. Great for cutting tomatoes. So I'm gonna cut that up a little bit. I even cut the ends. I like the ends too because it adds a little bit of character to the dish. To the tomatoes. They smell good too. I don't know where they ship these in from. They smell like they are in seasoning. I wish you guys could smell this right here because it smells really good. So I'm going to cut this up right here. And then cut the tomatoes, potatoes. Cut this up. So that's nice and cut up right. So I'm going to actually add the cilantro to the bowl that I'm going to be putting the eggs in, okay? Now, I do this because I like the cilantro to cook into the egg, all right? So, got those in there. All right, I'm going to set the tomatoes to the side. And then I'm going to crack open the egg, okay? Let me put the knives away so no one gets hurt. Alright, so I have the egg. I'm just going to crack the eggs open. Boom. That's 1, 2, and 3. So I have 3 eggs. It's going to be a 3-egg omelet. Let me go ahead and toss these. Toss the eggs away. Let me go ahead and put the eggs in the fridge. Alright, so I got the eggs right here. I'm not going to add some salt and pepper to them because I like salt and pepper to my eggs. So I got me some salt right here and some pepper. Just add a little bit of salt. That's enough. Add a little bit of pepper. That's enough. Set that to the back. And then I'm going to beat the egg. Now you can beat the egg with a fork. Some people do it with a spoon. Actually, I'm gonna beat it with a spoon just to be different, okay? So I got a spoon. I'm gonna show you how to beat an egg with a spoon. First, you're gonna just take the spoon and just like punch the egg, each one of the eggs just like that, just so you can get them open. Now this right here, when you beat them like this, they actually beat like you beat an egg. But it's different though. It keeps the egg a little bit more solidified, actually helps it mix up a little bit differently, all right? That made no sense, but go with me, all right? Just follow me. So I got that going. Next, I am going to turn the stove on high, or actually medium high, okay? Now, the reason why I'm doing this right here, actually I'm gonna put it on a little bit different burner, one that actually fits it, okay? Now, with cooking an omelet, you don't want the pan to be super hot. Now, when it's super hot, the omelet doesn't cook well, okay? You're gonna burning the side or it cooks too fast. So I'm gonna have it on a little bit on medium high to medium, all right? So I got that going right there. Next, I'm gonna open up the cheese. Now, I like cheddar. You can use whatever type of cheese that you want. But cheddar's like one of my favorite when it comes to omelettes, all right? So this right here is finely shredded triple cheddar, all right? I don't know what that means. With Vermont white cheddar and sharp cheddar, mild cheddar cheese, a whole bunch of cheddar, okay? All right, so we're gonna open that up. Just gonna look at it. You know what I do? I always smell the cheese, make sure it smells good. Actually, I just do that because I actually want to dip inside and taste some cheddar because I get hungry, okay? That's some good cheese. I'm trying another one. Now it's imperative that you make that noise when you eating the cheese. That way it makes the cheese actually taste better. Now I'm gonna use some oil, actually cooking spray. Okay, just checking the expiration date. I always make sure the expiration date is up to date. So I got this, it's not expiring until 2/18. So I got that, shake it up a little bit. Check the pan. You can check the pan to see if it's hot enough by taking a drop of water and put it in the pan. It's not hot yet, so I'm gonna crank it up just to speed up the process a little bit. Then I'm gonna get a spatula. All right, so I got a spatula right here. All right, just clean up the area a little bit while the pan is heating. All right. So, well, these pans I like a lot. These are here, All-clad pans right here. They cook really well. Check the description. I'm gonna leave a link to show you about these All-clad pans and pots. Really good. So it's heating up. You can see that little droplet right there. It's starting to bubble up a little bit. That's indicator that the pan is getting hot enough. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take my cooking spray right here, the non-stick cooking spray, okay? I'm actually gonna turn the thing down to medium and I'm gonna remove the pan for a second just to spray cooking spray in there. Make sure you get it good and coated. Now, All-clad, they do a good job with getting a good coating of non-stick in there, so you don't really need that much. Me, I just went a little bit overboard. Oh well. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to pour the egg inside of the pan. Now, it's not gonna be boiling hot, and you don't want the pan to be that hot because this is a slower process, okay? So I took that and put it to like medium high, and so it's starting to cook, but it's going to be slow. It's cooking slow, right? So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm just going to, while this is starting to cook, I am going to take some of the stuff and put it away, put it in the dishwasher, put things away, clean up, because I like to clean up as I'm cooking so things go a little bit slower. Okay, so I'm going to take this and put this away. Load up the dishwasher a little bit. Boom, rinse my hands. All right, so it's starting to cook a little bit. So now what you're doing with the omelet, okay? You take an omelet and you peel back the sides a little bit right here. So you get the cooked part and you're pulling it towards the center, while the liquid uncooked part, goes towards the outer banks, okay, of the pan. So you're gonna keep on doing this slowly. There's no rush in this. To make an omelet, it's a slow process, okay? If you wanna make the perfect omelet, remember, think slow, all right? Oh, that smells good. You see the pepper flakes in there, the cilantro. All it needs now is just to cook, and we'll add some of this triple cheddar cheese, all right, and the tomato, all right? So I'm just gonna do this. Slowly, right? So like I said, take it a little slow. Try not to make a big mountain hill in the center. You see it's starting to mountain up in the center? Try not to make it too high, you know, because you want your egg to be kind of leveled. And just pull the outer banks to the side. Now, you don't need to pull it all the way to the center every time, but just enough to fill in the empty space on the edges, on the outer banks, with the liquefied egg. All right, so we're going to do this. Just keep on doing a little bit more. All right, see, it's almost to a point to where it's still liquid a little bit on the top, but there's almost to the point to where the liquid will no longer flow to the edges. And at that point, you're just going, you see how it's very little liquid going to the edges, all right? So at that point, you're just gonna let it rest or let it heat just a little bit longer so the entire egg gets solidified enough to flip the egg and let it cook on the other side, okay? So this egg we're halfway, a little bit more than halfway through this process of making an omelette, all right? So I'm just gonna let it cook. Let's gather this tomato up. Man, that looks good right here. Gather tomato, potato. All right, the egg is about ready to flip, okay? It's all liquefied, it's all gone. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take the spatula, get underneath it like that, okay? Now this is a big egg, and I'm not just gonna flip it by itself. I'm actually gonna use my left hand to pick up the egg as well as flip it with the right hand. All right, 1, 2, 3. Wow, you see that? You see how that's athletic ability right there, okay? So once you do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the tomato, place it on one side, all right, place the tomato. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because there's enough heat from the pan to cook the remainder of the omelet. And I'm going to take the cheese, triple cheese thread, and I'm going to place it on the other side, okay? Wow, doesn't that look good? Absolute goodness, if you ask me. So it's just gonna cook a little bit. I'm gonna take this, place this to the side, put this in the sink, this in the fridge. Oh, I put my spatula in the sink too soon. So I'm gonna take this, it's cooking, right? I'm gonna get out my plate. And so once you do this, once it's been doing this, sitting there for a while, you're actually gonna turn the heat off, and you're gonna get underneath the egg, and you're gonna flip one side onto the other. All right, voila. And then you're gonna transfer the omelet to the plate and let the pan cool. Get a fork. Now that's how you make an omelette. Any questions? Please feel free to leave questions or comments. This is absolute goodness. I'm gonna just go ahead and dive into this thing. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness.